Hello there, my name's Aenur and welcome to my Mordheim video Basics for Beginners. So this video is for all players who are basically brand new in this great and amazing game Mordheim City of the Damned, but just started the game and thought, oh my gosh, what a huge content and how many things recommended to learn this game. Well, actually, I want to help you to have fun with the game as fast as possible, and therefore I absolutely recommend playing the tutorials, especially the combat tutorials, but basically doing all of the tutorials is really a good idea and really a good investment. After you've done this tutorials, you really know something about how to play the game, how to maneuver your guys through the map, and how to use the mini-map and parry and all that stuff. And without knowing this, it will be pretty much of a pain to learn this game. So after you watch the tutorials, we start a new game. Personally, I favor the skaven pretty much for newcomers because the skaven have the huge advantage of having a super high move speed, and this move speed especially helps in the beginning, in my opinion. So I just start off with the skaven. I'll show you the different warbands some other time, but now I just want to go with the skaven because it's the basics. So I will do lots of different vids to topics I'm just going to cut in this video, so you can get some orientation, and later on you will learn more about the special topics. So as you can see, we got the war camp, we got the smuggler's den for wordstone shipments, but there's no shipment requested right now, as you can see, and it's locked. We have the shop, which is locked too, but will open soon. Warband management, where you can put together your warband. I will show you very soon. Skirmish, where you can do multiplayer more time. The veteran system, which I'll go in first. The campaign and the next day. I'll start with the veteran system. Here you will receive veteran points according to tasks you already accomplished. I can't quite remember with how much veteran points you start off, but as you can see, there are lots of objectives that give you experiment points, and then your veteran rank increases, and then you get more veteran points to spend. As you can see, I'm already veteran rank 12 and already got 14 points. And for the start, first skill you take is Scholar, and you put in as much as possible. You can have a basic in the skill and a mastery, and it's always nice to master these. You take Contact Librarian. Yep. And I'm going to master this as well, and I set a 5th skill because I think you start off at least with 5. I'm not entirely sure, and I would go for Negotiator or Explorer too. I think I'll go for Negotiator because it basically increases the amount of money you'll get out of your wordstone, but that's a topic I'll come later on. Scholar reduces the training costs of skills, and you will have to train lots of skills. And Contact Librarian gives you a chance to receive formulas, which are pretty rare and you want to have as much formulas as possible. And Negotiator I already talked about a bit. So let's come to the warband management. So here you can see the slots, a leader slot, hero slots, and henchman slots, and you can see that there are quite a few slots locked. And this is because it's a level 0 warband. You can see the warband rank, and I need 5 warband experiment points to get to a level 1 warband. And the warband determines how much guys, the warband rank, how much guys you can hire, how much reserves you can have. And it, as the warband progresses, the hero slots, but also different hero choices will be unlocked. For the start, with the skaven, I just hire, well, there's always the option to get those hired swords, which are DLC units, and actually they are the very best units to get in the beginning. And since we bought the DLCs, we got one for free, or 2 of each hired sword for free to hire. And it's the best hero we can choose for a start, and so we'll take him. And for henchman we will simply take 3 warp guards. We go over the characters real quick. So you see the physical stats, the mental stats, and the martial stats. And all other things are subsequent, so they change if you change one of these 9. And you see a minimum, the current stat and the maximum stat the unit can get. And as you get experiment points on the unit, you get physical, mental, and martial points to spend according to the unit. Every unit has a different progression, and you can look it up on Mordheim Wikia. So, but for the first match that won't actually matter. We got an inventory, and we now try to equip this. We can equip him from the store. If you start in the game, if you just started, you will have a pretty small amount of gold to spend in the beginning, and it increases with the veteran rank. So we want to give out pendants or helmets in the beginning, and for him it will be this helmet. It gives us 5% armor and stun resistance and stuff. We'll try to get another armor, but I think we will stick to the cloth because it increases our dodge chance, and this is the best defense we have right now. For weapons, we really can keep to these weeping blades because we have 5 offense points, which is the standard for every hero, and 7 blue pills, by the way, which is the standard for every leader. Every hero has 6 pills to start off with, and with these 5 pills we can do 2 attacks with dual wield or 2-handed weapons, and therefore we want to go for that. The shuriken we can just keep. With our Globadier, he should be range, and as you can see he has a pretty high ballistic skill, more than weapon skill, but because of the red pills, the Warlock pistols cost 3 red pills to shoot. So if we go for a shooter, we should go for shurikens, because they only cost 2 red pills to shoot, and with shurikens we can shoot twice early on. But we can do 2 melee attacks with him as well, and in the beginning melee is much more strong than range, so I'm going to give him a melee weapon, and I'm going to give him dual wield melee weapons. Because of what I just told you, we can do 2 attacks with 2 melee weapons. The henchmen have 3 red pills and 5 blue pills, and therefore I want to give them dual wield as well, but it always depends on the shop, especially in the beginning. You depend on what the shop brings you. I'm going to buy these fighting claws because they're really nice. And those pendants. And I'll give him out the fighting claws for the assassin adept because he can wear them. The weeping blades are for this guy because he can use them. And here we go. Another henchman with a bit more damage. Unfortunately, you can't give a unit 2 spears. And let's see. But I think we now actually are done with everything we can do to get the best equipment for the start. And with that warband, you just can go into campaign mode and start a new campaign. For the first mission, or in general for the missions, I absolutely recommend to get the right objective and the right deployment. So as you can see, there's a difficulty, normal, wordstone and loot, which you can get. An objective, it's crush their will, that's wordstone rush, and that's marked for death, and you can see it in the symbols which mission you have, and then beneath there's a deployment. One warband deploys tightly around the wagon, while the other is divided into 3 strike teams. Or this, and I'll absolutely recommend to choose for the first missions a mission where both warbands are tightly around the wagon or in a wide arc from the wagon. And so this is the mission I would go for. It's a wordstone rush, where your second objective is to collect wordstone, and that's said to be the most easy objective. The marked for death objective can be pretty easy too, but the crush their will objective normally is pretty harsh to fulfill, especially in the beginning. And the deployment, as I said, tightly around the wagon or in a wide arc from their wagon are the easiest deployments, because if you start into a mission like that, it really can screw you over and can leave you without any chance of getting 0 casualties. And what you want to achieve actually in a Mordheim PvE campaign, or if you're playing Mordheim, is to get as less out of actions as possible, because every time one of your guys is falling out of action, you will get an injury roll and he even can die, and you can't reload then because of the save mechanics of the game. So it's really hard for beginners to come into the game because of this save and injury mechanic, and you really should take your time to play this game and learn how to play this game. I will make some guides on how to play PvE2 later, and take your time, especially if you want to do Mordheim PvP, which is really a great thing here in the skirmish. You really should be kind of familiar with the game and should have about 100 hours of playtime, because this actually is nothing in Mordheim and should be a little bit prepared. In the next videos I will show you how to do a Mordheim PvE mission, and I'll show you something about the skills. And I think I'll kind of stick to the skaven and show you how I level the skaven warband a bit while I go over the different topics, as already said, smuggler's den, shop, warband management and stuff like that. So I hope the first video at least was a bit useful for you, and I wish you lots of fun with your first Mordheim PvE mission. Thank you very much and see you again.